Well, hello, hi there guys, this is Swanim and welcome to Coords. In today's video, we'll be going over creating drag select in the RTS game of ours. So you can see, we can just drag and select units, and you can just hold down shift and do drag and select. So that's how you do it. And now, if you just were to select something and move your mouse a little, it is not going to deselect also. So that's a good thing, but there's a margin limit to that. And if you were to just do a big one, it will just deselect. So keep that in mind. In the interior, just do a big one and it will just deselect all of them. That's a neat trick. Now you can use the single mouse clicks just like they used to work, and everything is just fine and the way that I want it to be. And with that done, everything is finally set up, and let's get on with the drill and showing you all the code. So in this drill, I'll be using a different format. I'll be showing you guys my code rather than actually typing it out and explaining everything. This is, I believe, a better way. If you don't find it good, well, there are a few other updates about this drill and about this channel. So I will be sharing you guys on the time while we are talking. So the position and position global are obviously the mouse position in terms of screen coordinates and the mouse position in terms of global coordinates that we are getting using our input function, using the mouse pause input event.getPosition, and if it is a mouse event. So it's pretty simple to do that. Next up, we have start, which has a global position, end, which also has the global position of the mouse at the start and the end of selection or drag respectively. And start v and end v have the local or the screen positions. Is dragging just tells us if we are dragging or not. OnReady is a connection to the draw rect, so we are using a color rect over here to draw the whole drag selection area or drag area, whatever you like to call it. And then there's UI left mouse button, which I just created as an action, so you can just create it by saying UI but and then add mouse button. So that's as simple as that. Then just delete it. I also have a right mouse button, but I'm not planning to do anything with it right now. And if is dragging end v end, and this is us constantly setting up the draw area. And over here you see that I have UI left mouse button released, so we are checking if the mouse button is released. And over here I have added this distance to mouse position function, and this is just checking if actual selection is worth a mention or not. So if it is pretty small, something like let me just select some of the units, and if it's pretty small, less than 20 units or something, then it doesn't matter, it doesn't count, it should not count. It is supposed to be a mistake because no one is going to select a unit like this. I cannot even select a unit like this. Probably I can, I don't know. So it's just to be ignored because it's likely to be a mistake rather than a selection. So you can just set it up to an actual value such as error value or something like that, but it's here for now, and this is how I'm going to put it. Next up, we have the draw area function, the super awesome function. This takes in the size using the distance between the x values and distance between the y values inside of an absolute function. So this is the positive size, and this can never be negative. That's all that this means. And then we have the position. This position is the position of the rect, which is constantly going to be changing based on where it is. So the rect starts at the bottom left, so that's what I believe, so that's how it should be. So wherever you are getting the value of start v to be less than that of end v, you should be taking start v, or you will be taking the lesser value of the two. You can just write it as min start v dot x comma end v dot x, and this can be done the same way for the y values. Copy and paste it and just change it to y, and it's done, and it will work the same way. As you can see, you can just select, deselect, and do whatever you want to. Pretty neat. So that's all this is, and we are subtracting with os window size.y because in reality the y value is upside down because the screen the screen space that we are getting from the mouse position and the screen space in which we draw the rect are actually different or upside down in terms of each other. So that's why we have to change it, and then we are just setting up the rect position. And now over here we have a pretty cool little hack. So we know that when a boolean is converted to an int, it will either give a 1 or a 0 based on if it is true or false respectively. So I've set up the s value default to be true. So when we are drawing the rect without calling anything, it is just going to be true, and the rect size is not going to be changed because we are multiplying it with 1. But if the case is that we are passing in false, then this value will be 0 and the rect size will become 0, and the color rect will disappear from the screen. So pretty cool trick, huh? Okay, the next one is world manager. So over here we have a units variable which shows all the units, and we get all the units from the groups. As I mentioned, you can just go to units, go to nodes, go to groups, add the unit group, and then just save it, and it will be added for all of them. The power of instancing. Godot is pretty powerful in that terms because it uses scenes and instances them. And now we have the area selected function. It takes an obj, start and end values, and then a list, of which the first element is going to store the minimum values between start x and start y, and the second element is going to store the maximum values of start x and start y. So this I'm saying start x and start y. This is going to store the maximum values between start x and end x and start y and end y, because then we will know if this will make our job much easier to check if the object is between the area that we have selected or not. So this is just to make this is just for convenience. You can do it other way around. You can just say over here, put this max and min functions over here if you like, and pass the whole object over here. It doesn't matter, but this is how I like to do things. And now we have ut. We get a list from this array, this function, and because we are getting a list, we can decide what to do with it. So if we are holding down shift, we are not gonna deselect all of the objects, and if we are not, we are just gonna deselect all of them and then change the selection, which means that we will just be setting whatever is in the area to true and everything else to false. But if we are holding down shift, we are actually not deselecting anything. Thus we are just changing the selection values using the not uselected. Let me just quickly show you guys the deselect all function. It is quite simple. So while the selected size is greater than 0, we'll just keep removing the functions one by one. Pretty neat, and this marks the end of this tutorial. I've not changed anything in the unit script, but don't change the screen at the moment. The update time. This update is pretty important because this marks the end of this 2D RTS tutorial, because, well, I've gotten bored with it, one thing, and the second because the 2D tutorials are not worth it, because, well, we have 3D in Godot, and why waste the power of 3D? And I'm already gonna be creating serious videos about RPG series, my RPG series. So you can watch if you want to learn new 2D features from there. It will have lots of shader scripts and all that kind of crazy stuff. But I'm just gonna put an end to this whole 2D massacre of RTS series and get started with the 3D RTS series. So we are gonna have a 3D RTS series for Godot, and which I'll be showing you guys how to set up completely everything from scratch. I'll probably be also creating all the assets and stuff, but probably we'll be starting with something from a free asset pack. But let's see how it's all gonna end and start. And I will be creating a lot more videos now because I've got a lot of free time. I was busy with some of my work, doing some of the some work on the engine, understanding the Godot API a little better, and improving my knowledge of, well, 3D as a whole in Godot. So now I know enough to be able to start. And I also know the fact that waiting for 3D is just not worth it because it's going to take time. It will be at least until 2019 that new 3D features will make it into Godot, because Vulkan has to be ported into Godot. So until then, it will be a goodbye. But if you like the video, like it. If you want to see more of my videos, see more of my content, then please subscribe and hit the bell notification icon. It will actually be worth it, I promise. So now, with all that done, another thing, if you have any ideas for the RTS drill, please put them down in the comment section. I will love to hear your ideas for whatever RTS drills you might have in mind, or whatever things you have in mind. So if you have watched to this point, I'm very sorry for frustrating you to this level, but if you have any ideas, put them down in the comments, and I'm sorry for any mistakes that I've done. Bye now, and see you guys later.